The quiet before the storm set was quiet, too quiet. Cameras rested on their tripods, monitors frozen with the last frame of the scene, but no one dared speak. A stillness had settled, not because the scene had ended, because something had shifted. Something deeper. Ana de Armas sat alone on the edge of the stage platform, her hands trembling slightly in her lap. Wasn't in character anymore. The makeup on her face didn't match her eyes. The eyeliner framed a woman strong and fierce. But her eyes, they whispered fear. Keanu stood a few steps away, watching her in silence. He had felt it during the last take. Not a mistake, not a forgotten line. It was something emotional. Like a thread had snapped in her chest, and everything was spilling out silently. She stared at the floor, her lips parted, but no words came. The stage lights above hummed softly, casting a golden glow over everything, yet the warmth didn't reach her. The crew began to move quietly in the background. No one interrupted. No one dared. Then Keanu walked forward, slow and calm. He didn't say anything at first. He simply lowered himself beside her, both feet flat on the ground. Shoulder barely touched hers. And for a moment, they just sat there, and a single quotes. Her voice came out barely a whisper. "I'm scared," she said. Keanu didn't look at her. He looked ahead at the empty chairs lined for the audience, the ones that would soon be filled with critics and strangers, people who had no idea what she was carrying inside. Then he answered, his voice even softer than hers. "Then I'll walk with you." Ana turned her face toward him slowly, her lips trembling. A tear rolled down her cheek, and Keanu, without turning, reached into his coat pocket and handed her a clean handkerchief. It's not a tissue, a real cloth handkerchief. It smelled faintly of lavender and leather. She clutched it in her hand but didn't wipe the tear. "They think I'm strong," she whispered. "But I'm not like this." Keanu nodded, still not turning toward her. "Sometimes strong doesn't look like standing tall. Sometimes it looks like sitting here and still breathing." She looked down at her hands. Her knuckles were pale from holding them so tightly together. "Everything just got too loud," she said. And then nothing made sense. Keanu finally turned when Ana blinked. "Last week, the press junket in Berlin, I smiled through everything. Every question, every camera, but inside I was shaking the whole time." He didn't ask why she didn't tell anyone. He already knew. This industry didn't reward pause. It rewarded performance. Keanu leaned his elbows on his knees. "Shh. You don't owe them strength, Ana." She looked at him, confused. "You owe yourself gentleness," he said. A long silence stretched between them. Then Ana asked something so simple it nearly broke him. "Can we walk just a little? Somewhere quiet?" Keanu nodded, of course. It stood slowly, and as they walked off the set and into the back corridor of the studio, the crew watched quietly. They didn't need an explanation. They saw something human, something real. Outside, the night had softened. The sky was deep blue. No stars yet, but the air was fresh. Cool. Ana breathed in and closed her eyes. Keanu walked beside her, not ahead, not behind. Beside. As they moved slowly past the trailers and lighting trucks, Ana began to speak not like an actress, like a person who had held too much for too long. "I never thought fame would feel like this," she said. "Like a cage made of golden bars. Beautiful on the outside. But inside, lonely." Keanu didn't interrupt. He let the words come. Sometimes she continued, "I wake up and don't even know if I'm being myself or just playing another role. Even off camera." They stopped by a quiet bench near the edge of the lot. A single lamppost lit the space in soft yellow light. Ana sat down first. Keanu followed. "Do you ever feel like that?" she asked. He exhaled slowly. "I used to." Looked at him with cautious hope. "How did you stop?" He smiled gently. "I didn't stop. I just started walking with people who understood." Ana's eyes glistened again. "Like tonight," he said. "Tonight, you didn't hide. You didn't pretend. You let someone walk with you." Ana wiped her cheek with a handkerchief now damp with her tears. "Do you think that's enough?" she asked. Keanu looked at her fully now. It's more than enough. It's courage. Just then a breeze moved through the trees. The lamplight flickered slightly. They sat together in the calm, listening to the soft rustle of leaves. You know, Keanu said after a pause, fear doesn't make you weak, silence does. Anna nodded barely. But the moment you speak, he added, the silence breaks. And fear starts to lose its power. She looked at him, almost like she was seeing him for the first time. You never try to fix me, she said. You don't need fixing, he replied. You need space, and someone beside you in it. Anna didn't answer right away. She leaned, her head gently on his shoulder. Thank you, she whispered. Keanu stayed still, allowing her the comfort. No rush, no expectations. Just presence. After a long pause, he said one more thing, his voice low. His tone filled with quiet strength. I'll walk with you, as long as you need. And for the first time in weeks, maybe months, Anna closed her eyes and didn't feel afraid. The weight she'd carry it the next morning. The studio looked the same, but Anna didn't feel the same. She stood at her trailer door, holding a cup of warm tea, staring at the sun breaking through the clouds. The light touched the gravel quietly, like the world was trying not to wake her too fast. Last night had been a pause she didn't know she needed. And Keanu's words still echoed softly in her mind. I'll walk with you, as long as you need. No one had ever said that to her before. Not like that. Not without conditions. Yes. Not without trying to fix her. She took a slow breath and stepped out. Her heart beat calmly, but something heavy still lingered in her chest. The hallway leading to set buzzed gently with voices. Hair and makeup artists passed with brushes and palettes. Production assistants carried clipboards and radios. It is a normal day. But Anna's footsteps were slower than usual. When she reached the dressing room, Keanu was already there, not waiting, not expecting, just sitting on the couch reading a book. He looked up and gave her a nod. Nothing more. You. Okay to shoot today? He asked. She paused, then nodded. I think so. Keanu folded the corner of his page and set the book down. If at any point you're not, just say something. Anna smiled softly. You'd really stop the shoot if I asked? He looked at her without blinking. Of course. She blinked twice, surprised by the certainty in his voice. Even if it costs the production money? Keanu stood and picked up his script. There's no scene more important than someone's peace of mind. Anna didn't reply. She couldn't. Her throat tightened. She just followed him onto the set, the director, greeted them with polite energy, unaware of what had happened the night before. To him, everything looked normal. We'll do the rooftop scene today, he announced. We want real emotion in this one. Tension. Heartbreak. You both ready? Anna's hand trembled slightly. Keanu caught it and gave her a small look, not one of concern, but understanding. Just one glance. It steadied her. Ready? Anna said quietly. They climbed the narrow stairway up to the studio's rooftop set. It was built to look like a downtown building in winter. The wind machines were already humming softly. Camera crew adjusted lights and angles. As they reached the top, Anna's breath shortened. Space was open, exposed. There were no walls to hide behind, no corners to retreat to. Keanu noticed. You want a minute? He asked. She nodded. The assistant director cleared his throat. We're rolling in 5. Keanu raised his hand gently. Give us 10, he said. The assistant looked like he wanted to object, but Keanu's calm stare made him nod once. They were alone. Anna stepped back toward the edge of the set. Her eyes scanned the sky. The wind machine started to blow a soft current across her face. She shut her eyes. Why does it feel like everything's louder up here? She asked. Keanu joined her, careful not to stand too close, because there's nothing to muffle it. Anna shook her head. It's too close to my real life. Keanu waited. The dialogue, she said, where my character says, I don't know who I am anymore. It's not acting for me. Keanu turned to face her fully. And don't act. She looked at him. Just say it, he added. As you. Anna swallowed hard. You think they'll notice? They might, Keanu said. But they won't know why. They'll just feel something real. And that's what matters. Anna breathed. Out slowly. You make it sound easy. It's not, he said honestly, but it's worth it. They stood silently for another moment, and then the assistant director called from below. We're ready. Anna turned to go, but Keanu stopped her with a gentle hand on her arm. Remember, he said, I'm right here. That was all she needed. When the cameras rolled, Anna stepped into the scene not as a character, but as herself. The lines came out of her mouth with cracks and softness that no one had rehearsed. Her voice trembled on certain words, and she didn't hide it. I don't know who I am anymore. She whispered in the scene, her eyes locked on Keanu and Keanu.com. And Strong replied exactly as scripted, but filled it with truth. You're the person who stood through the storm. That's who you are. The room went silent after cut. Even the crew paused. The director stared at the monitor, then looked up. That was it. That's the take. Anna didn't smile. She didn't cry. Just stood there breathing. When she stepped off the rooftop and returned to the dressing room, she didn't speak for a long time. Finally, she said, that was the first time I didn't fake it. Keanu sat beside her. Did it feel like falling and flying at the same time? He nodded. A few hours later, the shoot wrapped for the day. The crew applauded, thinking it was for the perfect scene. But for Anna, it wasn't about the performance. It was about the release. As she walked toward her trailer, Keanu caught up with her. Do you have plans tonight? He asked. She shook her head. Then let's take a walk. Again, he smiled, until you're ready to run. They walked side by side through the studio gates and into the quiet streets just beyond. No bodyguards, no cameras, just two people under the fading golden sky. Anna didn't talk much. She didn't need to. And Keanu didn't speak unless she asked something. That silence, that calm, became her safe space. As they crossed a small park path, she suddenly stopped. What if I break again? She asked. Keanu didn't flinch. Then I'll be there again. Anna looked down. You really mean that? Don't say things I don't mean, he said gently. She breathed in deeply and looked at the sky. Thank you, she said. No need, Keanu replied. You would have done the same for me. And for the first time in a long time, Anna believed. The wall behind her, Smiley's next few days moved like quiet waves. Gentle, not loud, but always pushing forward. Anna showed up on set each morning with her lines memorized. Her smile was softer, now less for show, more real. Wasn't big. It didn't flash like before. But it reached her eyes. Still inside her, a quiet storm hadn't fully passed. One evening, after the day's shoot ended and most of the crew had gone, Anna sat alone in her trailer. The lights were dim. Her phone buzzed with unread messages, publicists, interviews, invitations, but she ignored them. She held her script but wasn't reading. A knock came at the door. She opened it slowly. Keanu stood there with 2 coffee cups and a small brown bag. Donuts, he said simply. Anna's lips twitched into a faint smile. You always know. They're warm, he added. She stepped aside to let him in. They sat across from each other in silence, steam rising between them. After a few bites and a few sips, Keanu looked at her carefully. You did something different today, he said. Anna nodded slowly. I let myself feel it. In the scene, Keanu leaned back. It showed. It scared me. Why? Because it wasn't acting anymore. It was me, breaking on camera. Keanu nodded slowly. Sometimes breaking is the bravest thing you can do. Anna looked down at her hands. I built a wall around myself. A long time ago. I didn't even know it was there until I let a piece of it crack this week. Walls keep things out, Keanu said. But they also trap things in. Anna blinked. Like what? Grief, fear, even love. Those words hit something deep. Inside her, she leaned forward, her elbows on her knees, head bowed. I thought if I kept smiling, I could outrun everything. The past, the pain, the pressure. Keanu let the silence hold her, and his voice dropped. But now, I don't know how to smile when I'm not okay. He reached over gently and set his coffee down. Then calmly, he said, You don't have to. Denna looked up at him, eyes watery. You smiled through pain. Now try breathing through it instead. A tear rolled down her cheek. She didn't wipe it away. When did you learn all this? When she asked. Keanu looked down for a second and quietly replied, when I lost people I loved. When I had to rebuild myself in silence. Anna's voice cracked. That sounds lonely. It was, he said, but it made me softer, not weaker, just more aware. She nodded slowly. Then, after a pause, she whispered, there's something I've never told anyone. Not even my manager. Keanu waited, patient as always. Anna took a shaky breath. A few years ago, before the fame really hit, I was in a dark place, mentally, emotionally. I almost walked away from everything, from acting, from life. Words hung in the air like smoke. Why didn't you? He asked, voice calm but serious. Someone gave me a second chance. A stranger. They didn't know who I was. They didn't care about the movies or the press. They just listened. What did they say? Anna stared at her reflection in the trailer mirror. They said, you're not lost. You're just carrying something heavy. Give it time. Give it love. Keanu nodded slowly. And you did. Anna gave a small, tired smile. I tried. Lately it feels heavy again. Keanu leaned forward. Then share it, piece by piece, with someone you trust. Anna looked straight at him. With you? He didn't blink. Always. Outside, the wind tapped gently against the trailer door. Anna stood up and pulled out an old notebook from her bag. It was small, worn at the edges. This is mine, she said. My real one. I write here when things get too loud. She handed it to him, read the first page. Keanu took the notebook carefully and opened it. He read the short entry in silence. Some days I feel like a ghost walking through my own life. Like everyone sees me, but no one really sees me. He looked up. Anna was standing by the door now, her arms wrapped around herself. Do you still feel that way? He asked. Less now, she said. But some days, yes. Keanu closed the notebook and handed it back. You're not invisible, Anna, he said gently, and you're not alone. Her throat tightened. I know that now. She whispered. He smiled. Good. That night, as they parted outside the trailer, Anna looked at him one last time. You walk with so many people, Keanu? Who walks with you? He looked up at the stars, then back at her. The people who choose to stay. Mana's eyes softened. I'm staying, she said, and for the first time in a long time, Keanu felt the weight in his own chest lift just a little. The breaking point in the open door storm didn't come with thunder. It came with silence. 3 days later, Anna didn't show up on set. No call, no message, no footsteps down the hallway. The director kept checking his watch. Assistants whispered. Makeup artists waited with untouched brushes. Crew members looked toward Keanu. He stood outside her trailer door, gently knocked, then waited. No answer. He knocked again. Softer, Anna. It's me. Double quotes. Silence. He looked down. The small light under the door was on. Someone was inside. He didn't try to open it. He just sat down on the steps outside, resting his elbows on his knees. A few minutes passed, then the door creaked open. Slightly. Not wide. Just enough for her voice to slip out. I can't do it today. Keanu turned his head toward the opening. Okay, he didn't ask why. He didn't say she had to. Anna's voice came again, quieter. I didn't sleep. Me neither, he said gently. The door opened a little more. Anna sat on the edge of the trailer, curled up in a large hoodie, her hair undone, no makeup on her face. Her eyes were puffy. She looked young, raw, like the version of herself she never let anyone see. I woke up at 4 a.m., she whispered. Everything felt heavy again. Keanu nodded slowly, like the world was pressing down on my chest. She added, I know that feeling, he said. Anna looked at him with guilt in her eyes. They're all waiting for me. They'll wait, Keanu replied. She looked at him, confused. You really believe that? I believe you matter more than the schedule. Anna buried her face in her hands. But I don't want to disappoint anyone. Keanu's voice softened. What about you? What if you disappoint yourself by pretending again? Oh. Those words landed like a soft punch. Not harsh. But real. I just thought I was stronger than this, she said, voice shaking. Keanu leaned forward slightly. Anna, this is strength sitting here, telling the truth. She didn't speak then. With slow hands, she reached for the small notebook again, the one she had let him read days earlier. She opened it to a new page and stared at it for a long time. I wrote something at 4:12 a.m., she said. Do you want to hear it? Only if you want to share. She nodded. Her voice was slow, trembling. I feel like a glass teacup, beautiful on a shelf, but the moment someone reaches for me, I crack a little more. Keanu looked at her with a quiet sadness. Do you want to be the teacup forever? He asked. Anna looked down. I don't know how not to be. Then let's start with today, he said. They sat there in silence again. After a while, Anna spoke. What would you do if you were me? I'd do what's kind, Keanu replied. Not just for others, for myself too. Anna leaned her head back against the trailer wall. Her voice was just a whisper now. I feel like running. Then, run, Keanu said, but not away. Run toward something, toward healing, toward peace. Anna blinked at him. How? I'll walk the first steps with you. Her eyes filled again. You always say that? She whispered. Because I mean it. For the first time that day, Anna gave the smallest smile. It wasn't full, but it was there. Keanu stood and extended his hand. Let's leave the set for today. Just disappear. Anna hesitated. No one will get mad? She asked. Let me handle it. Anna stood slowly. Her legs wobbled a bit, but she stayed upright. They walked through the back lot. Keanu said nothing to the assistant director. No explanations, just a small nod. And somehow no one stopped them. They drove to a quiet hill just outside the city. No cameras, no fans, just grass and sky. Anna stepped out of the car and closed her eyes against the wind. Thank you, she said. Keanu shrugged. You chose to come, but I wouldn't have without you, smiled faintly. Then maybe we both needed this. They sat under a tree. For a long time, neither spoke. Anna finally broke the silence. When you were at your lowest, what saved you? Keanu answered without pause. Kindness. From people who didn't owe me anything. Anna nodded. That's what you've given me. Then pass it on when you're ready. They stayed there until the sun began to dip behind. The hills on a turn toward him one last time before they left. Can I ask you something personal? Anything? Have you ever been scared like me? Keanu looked at the horizon. Many times. And what did you do? He smiled softly. I walked forward, even if my legs shook. Anna stared at him. Can I be honest? She said, always. I don't want to go back tomorrow. But I will, because you'll be there. Keanu nodded. Double quotes. And when you're not scared anymore, he said, you'll walk beside someone else. Anna looked at the sky. The stars had started appearing one by one. She smiled again. This time it was fuller. Maybe that's what healing is, she said, walking each other home. Keanu stood. Let's go home then. Anna stood beside him, and they walked. Not because the pain was gone, but because now she didn't carry it alone. The moment she stood on her own, next morning, Yana stood in front of the mirror. No makeup, no lights, just her and her reflection. Her eyes were still tired, but something inside them had changed. The fear hadn't disappeared, but it no longer ruled her. There was space between it and her heart now. And in that space was Keanu's voice. Walk forward, even if your legs shake. She reached for her hairbrush and began slowly pulling it through her hair. Every stroke felt like a small act of courage. Like she was telling her own reflection, I'm still here. I didn't disappear. There was a knock at the trailer. She opened it, expecting Keanu, but it wasn't him. It was the assistant director, nervous, unsure. Hey, Anna, morning, he said. We were just checking in. Wondering if you were feeling okay to shoot today. Anna paused. For the first time in a while, she didn't look to someone else to answer for her. Yes, she said. But I'd like a few minutes to myself first. The assistant nodded, surprised but respectful. Of course. We'll wait. When the door closed again, Anna exhaled. She sat down with her notebook, flipped to a blank page, wrote something simple. Today I will walk without hiding. A soft knock came 15 minutes later. This time it was Keanu. She smiled when she saw him, not because she needed him, but because she wanted him there. Ready? He asked. Anna nodded. Yes. They walked two set together. Quiet, steady. Steps. But this time, Anna wasn't leaning on him. She was walking beside him. The director approached them with a clipboard. We've got the flashback scene scheduled today, he said. It's the hardest one. Emotional collapse. Are you sure you're okay to go into that headspace? Anna looked him directly in the eye. Yes, she said, but I'll need a moment of silence before the scene begins. The director blinked. Okay, sure, of course. The rooftop set had been reset. Same gray tones, same cold breeze, same wide open space. But Anna wasn't the same. As she stepped up to her mark, the camera team adjusted their focus. The lights were dimmed to match. The mood Keanu stood across from her in the scene. In the script, her character was supposed to break down, fall to her knees, say the line, I'm lost and no one's looking for me. But before the cameras rolled, Anna raised her hand gently. 1 second, she said. She closed her eyes, breathed in. Once, twice, 3 times. The crew waited. The director didn't interrupt. Keanu watched her. No fear, just quiet pride. She opened her eyes. Okay, she said. I'm ready. Action. Anna stepped forward in the scene, but she didn't fall to her knees. Instead, she stayed upright. Her voice cracked, but her back stayed straight. I'm lost, she said, and maybe no one's looking. But I'll keep walking anyway. The line had changed. The director leaned forward from his chair, confused. But Keanu didn't miss a beat, stepped in and delivered his line, adjusted slightly. Beautifully. Then I'll walk beside you, he said. And in that moment, the scene wasn't acting. It was real. Anna wasn't a character anymore. She was herself when the director called cut. There was a pause. Then the sound team quietly applauded. The script supervisor whispered, We'll keep that version. Anna walked off set slowly. Her heart was racing, but not from fear. From freedom. Keanu caught up to her at the edge of the lot. You rewrote? The line, he said. I had to, she replied. I'm glad you did. She turned to him. I didn't fall today. No, he smiled. You stood. Anna looked down at her hands. You helped me. Only because you let me. They sat on a wooden bench near the parking lot. It was old, splintered, half in shadow, but somehow it felt perfect. Anna looked up at the trees swaying in the soft wind. I think I used to believe strength meant pretending everything was okay, she said. And now I know it means being honest and still showing up. Keanu nodded. That's more powerful than pretending. She leaned her head back and closed her eyes for a second. The breeze felt soft against her face. You know what scares me now, she said, double quotes. What? That someday I'll forget how this feels. This clarity, this peace? Keanu replied gently, and write it down, speak it, share it. Pass it forward. Make it part of you. Anna looked at him. I want to. I want to help others who feel like I did. He smiled. Then maybe this pain wasn't for nothing. They sat in silence for a while. A butterfly passed by, dancing in the air. Anna followed it with her eyes, then whispered, I think I'm ready. For what? To tell my story? Publicly? The real one. No filters. Keanu's face softened. Then I'll be right beside you, if you want me there. Anna reached for his hand. I do. And in that moment, for the first time in her journey, Anna didn't feel like the broken girl from before. She felt whole. Still healing, yes, but whole. The Walk That Never Ends press room was quiet. Anna stood backstage, just behind the curtain, hands lightly trembling. Cameras were already set. Journalists waited. The air buzzed with the kind of tension only a live moment could bring. Her manager whispered, "You don't have to do this. You can still step back." Anna shook her head. "No, I've hidden long enough." Keanu stood near the exit, leaning quietly against the wall, hands in his coat pockets. He didn't move toward her, didn't need to. His presence alone was enough. When Anna looked at him, he gave a slight nod. "You ready?" his eyes said. She stepped onto the stage. Flashes lit the room. The host introduced her as an international star, an icon, a woman at the top of her career. Anna didn't smile. She waited. When the applause died down, she took the mic. And then she spoke. "For years, I've been performing. Not just on screen, but in life. Every red carpet smile, every scripted answer, every moment of strength you've seen. Most of it wasn't real." The room went still. "I've struggled with fear," she continued. "Real fear. The kind that wakes you up at 4 a.m. It makes you question who you are. I've cried between scenes. I've doubted myself in front of mirrors. And I've hidden behind characters so the real me didn't have to be seen." A camera clicked. Then another. But the room stayed silent. "I'm not sharing this for sympathy," she said. "I'm sharing it because maybe someone out there feels the same. And maybe they think they're the only one." Anna looked down for a second, and she lifted her eyes and said softly, "You're not alone. I promise you that." The host stepped forward, unsure if she was finished. But Anna raised one hand. "I want to thank someone," she said. "Someone who didn't try to fix me. Someone who just walked with me." A few heads turned toward the back of the room. The cameras followed. Keanu was still leaning against the wall, quiet. Still, Anna didn't call his name. She didn't need to. Her next word said everything. "If you ever meet someone who sees your storm and doesn't run, hold on to them. They're rare and they're real." The applause came slow at first, and stronger. Not the usual clapping for the silly kind, but the kind that said, "We heard you. We feel you." Anna stepped off the stage, her chest rising with a deep breath. Keanu met her at the hallway. Neither of them spoke. He just opened his arms, and she walked straight into them. Not because she needed saving, but because she wanted to. Be seen. The days that followed were different. Anna's speech went viral. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was honest. Fans from around the world messaged her. Some shared their own struggles. Some just said thank you. Interviews came, offers rolled in. But Anna didn't rush. She chose carefully now. Stories that meant something. Scripts that felt like healing, not hiding. And Keanu, he stayed close, not as a shadow, but as a light. They were seen together more often, walking after shoots, sitting in quiet cafes, laughing, not loudly, but deeply. The kind of laughter that comes from surviving something hard together one evening. After a wrap on a new project they did together, they sat on a rooftop. No cameras, no scripts, just them. The sky above was dark velvet, dotted with stars. Anna spoke quietly. "Do you ever think we met for this reason?" "What reason?" "So I wouldn't have to walk alone anymore." Keanu looked at her. "Maybe we met so we'd both walk lighter." Yana smiled. "I like that." She turned to him, serious for a moment. "What if I fall again?" He replied without hesitation. "Then I'll sit with you until you're ready to stand." She blinked. "What if I don't want to stand right away? Then we'll sit for as long as it takes." A tear rolled down her cheek, not from pain, but peace. "You really mean that, don't you?" "I've never said anything more true," Keanu replied. They stayed like that for a long time. Two people who understood that healing isn't loud. It's slow, quiet, patient. Months passed. Anna's light returned. Not the spotlight kind, but the one inside her. She didn't fake her smiles anymore. She didn't shrink her sadness. She learned how to rest when tired, speak when hurting, and most importantly, to walk with grace, even when afraid. Keanu stayed beside her through it all. But one day, he said something that caught her heart off guard. "You don't need me anymore," he said. Anna stared at him. "Don't say that," she whispered. "You'll still have me," he added quickly. But now you're walking on your own. Anna's lips trembled. Maybe, she said, but it's better with you beside me. Keanu smiled. Then we keep walking, side by side. No rush, no pressure. Just two people, one journey, and a promise that began with a whisper. I'm scared. Then I'll walk with you.